If my real goal is to have a massive database of friends who think of me as their guy, well, I want that reciprocity. I want them to feel like they owe me one. Today, we're going to talk about the value of your viewership, how to turn your viewership into clients, aside from, lead gen and all that normal traditional stuff. So I get a lot of views on my stuff. What do I do to utilize that to attract new clients? And what you have to recognize is that viewership is value. But who is it value to? And it's two kinds of value. It could be monetary value, or it could be ego value. So I've got a lot of views on videos. What do I do to monetize that? How do I use that value aside from the exposure for myself and being remembered and everything else? But no, direct value like this. If I've got a listing and I put a listing video up and I get a lot of values, excuse me, a lot of views, not values, get a lot of views for that listing. How do I turn that into a way to collect clients? And this is one of my favorites. When I have a listing and I put a bunch of views on it, then I can take and do like this. And hopefully your listing video looks better than the one I used for an example here. But I take that post and then I did a little grab of the views and highlighted it so I could turn this into a post and put it out and say, the typical listing only gets a couple thousand views. If you really want to find that perfect top dollar buyer, your listing needs massive exposure like this. If you'd like to hear more about my 50,000 viral video view guarantee, whatever your text is, I'm representing this exposure as value. If I'm selling a home, that's one of the things people want more than anything else. Yeah, I want a good agent, knowledgeable, able to negotiate, blah, blah, blah. But I want you to get me massive exposure for my home. I want you to get me top dollar, and I can't get you more than your house is worth. But the best way to get you what your house is worth is to get you a lot of exposure so we can find that one perfect buyer. This makes perfect sense to me, the consumer, the person selling a home. I want that. So I'm willing to equate that in my mind to monetary value, massive exposure. That makes you more valuable. And that one's kind of obvious. So if you've got listings, yes, I want to advertise that I can do that for you. Now, if I'm a loan officer, my clients don't need exposure. I don't represent monetary value to them. So what do I do with my views? And how do I represent that value? And that's where we come back to the exposure and the relationships and connecting my connections or creating reciprocity by helping people with their exposure. Because again, value in the views is either, ooh, this is going to benefit me monetarily, or two, this is going to benefit me. And ego is what I call it. Ego trumps wallet. You've heard me say things like that, I'm sure. Probably need to find a better phrase than ego, but the social validation, the exposure, whatever. People want exposure. I want exposure for my listing, but other people want exposure. She wants exposure for her salon. And so when Chris did the little video connecting his connection to everybody else, little video with the salon manager, and got her 6,000 views, that's of significant value to her. Now, it doesn't mean that she's refinancing her home or buying a house right now or anything, but the reciprocity of building relationships. If my real goal is to have a massive database of friends who think of me as their guy, well, I want that reciprocity. I want them to feel like they owe me one. So yeah, when he went out and interviewed the furniture store or the horse rescue or the preschool academy, whatever, all of these influencers and connectors, they see massive value in that exposure. And that's why I want to talk about this whole digital mayor concept and really lean into it with you more moving forward. Anytime I can do a video with somebody else who wants exposure, who will benefit from the exposure. And I call it ego, but to them, it's money because you're getting exposure for them. I'm creating a strong relationship with them and delivering what they want. So imagine this. I would really like to earn a relationship with a financial planner. And so I go grab some piece of content that they've created, some video they have up on YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever. And I put up a post that says, people are always asking me about blah, 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 capital gains, whatever, something accounting related, because I'm in the space, but nobody could answer that question, or I could never possibly answer that question as well as my good buddy XYZ. Or my good friend XYZ. Take a look at this video. So I just do a quick little 5-10 second intro, put that on the beginning of his video, and then I post it to my page and put a lot of traffic on it. And then I go share it to his profile. I might let it run on my page for a day first and then share it. So it's already got a bunch of views, especially if I put a specialty rule on it that had some social validation views. So that, yeah, when Sean and Helena did the video with the local artist, the value of these 11,000 views to the local artist are huge. And not only am I delivering value to that relationship and creating that reciprocity, and now they would love to make it up to me. And what can I do to help you out? Referrals would be great. But when I share it, I'm also getting exposure to all of her friends. So the local artist probably has a bunch of close friends in the local area that know, like, trust her. And now by association, they know, like, and trust Sean and Helena. And I'm buying that trust, that know, like, trust. That's my goal. How do I have hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of people who feel like they know, like, and trust me? Well, now I'm picking up people and I'm getting, by association, all of the trust from the person, but I'm also delivering value to her. So anytime I can use my ability to get massive exposure to help somebody else out, I'm delivering for that person massive, massive value, which is going to make them want to give value back to me. It's good for you. It's good for them. It makes people like you. Just ask yourself, who needs exposure? How can I help them? As long as it's not something that's going to hurt your business, you think about all the other people that you can help. And in helping them, you're going to make a lot of people like you. And you're going to create that reciprocity, that desire to pay you back, to return the favor. By the way, go type into Google bonding through. And when you start typing and all the suggestions start coming up, bonding through a shared experience, bonding through a common cause. These are the things that pop up very commonly. When we're working on a common cause, when we're working on a joint project, it's a bonding experience for a lot of psychological reasons. We're both volunteering at the same soup kitchen or doing whatever. That's a bonding experience. But when the cause is your cause, or the cause is your business, if our common cause is your furniture store, your accountancy, your event that's coming up, your webinar, and I can help you with that, you represent such massive value to everybody who needs exposure that it's an incredible opportunity to have them owe you one, to bond with them at a deeper level, bonding through a shared experience, bonding through working on a common cause. And the cause happens to be your cause. Just think about, who do I want relationships with? Who can I help? And if you really start doing it for the right reason, you'll get the massive exposure. And so your viewership represents value to you because you're getting lots of exposure. You're becoming known, liked, trusted. If you're the best known, you've got the hugest leg up on becoming the best, most utilized professional in your market. I need people to know me. I need to be familiar to them. But it's not just the value to you. Think about the value to other people. Value, ego value, and don't dismiss it. It's the American pastime, looking good. It's what we want more than anything else. Clothes, hair, jewelry, cars, shoes, houses. Looking good is hell, it's what social media is all about. We just want to look cool online. Think about that for a second. Think about how much effort people put in, not just our kids and the millennials. We know that everything's about the Instagram moment. Well, it's more than that, but yeah, looking good. I want to look cool online. You have the ability to make people look cooler online than they could ever possibly do on their own. You have the ability to freak them out, make them feel good, make them feel like they owe you one. You have a magic superpower. Go use it on people's behalf, because the value to them is huge. The more value you give away, the more value will come back to you. The more people will feel like they owe you one. You got to recognize what you have. And then you got to ask yourself, who wants what I have? I have massive exposure. Who wants that? Every business, every cause, every charity, every school, every event, the music teacher that's having a music recital, the play that's going on at the school about the car wash that they're having for, the competition that's going on at the skate park for, the volleyball tournament. That's all these things are really important to people. And what they want is they want exposure, and you represent that. Use your value to build relationships. You have the ability to change lives. Use it, and it'll come back to you.